Ladies and gentlemen, please be outstanding for the Nerd National Anthem.
Welcome to Nerd Migos episode 21. I be Jamie.
I be Ryan.
I am Michael.
I am Chris. I had to think about that for a second.
That sounded almost a little bit sinister.
Who am I today?
Who am I?
As I sit on my throne,
I'm having an existential crisis about who I am, you know?
I am Chris.
I woke up in the bathroom and I decided, should I take it off while I do
He is literally wearing
Do you have a conditional identity?
Conditional identity?
Conditional identity.
My identity is fluid, so like,
Yeah,
you know,
because
today I'm Chris, but I could be Ryan tomorrow. I don't know. I literally don't know.
One of my
Well, you
favorite
could be a bath man.
A bath man, yeah.
One of my favorite comedians, Dimitri Martin, he said, I was in the shoe shop the other day, and this lady said, if you need anything, my name is Carol. And it's like, wow, I've never met anyone with a conditional identity before. What if I don't need anything? Who are you then?
I actually like some of his comedy. Like, it's something like,
he's hit and miss, but
there was something he was doing. Like, there was a joke. I can't remember. I literally was like in stitches about.
Was that about his? He did a little show. He did a few seasons, but it's like. How to get rid of rats?
Oh, that's it. Queer Side. Is it the Queer Side where he releases one rat into the room and turns one half of his house Christian, then releases the other rat inside the room and turns them like a Muslim, and they all fight each other and kill each other. I was like, wow, that's. And I was like in the bathroom on the toilet laughing, just literally just
yeah.
Because that popped up on my Facebook feed as like.
No, I shared it to you.
Yeah,
I posted it too because I thought it was like I literally was watching it on TV and I stopped and I rewound it and I recorded it off my phone. I went, watch this, Chris. You'll love it.
Anyway, there you go.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a month, but we thought we'd talk about Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
Because at one point we said, hey, we're going to talk about Avengers Endgame.
We never did.
Spoiler alert, no.
It was the worst movie I have ever seen in my life.
How many times have we all seen it? Let's go around.
I saw it twice.
Yeah.
Once, unfortunately.
Twice.
I saw it 3 times.
Which is
for me, 3 times is a bit low for a movie for me.
Yeah.
Of
I think your standing number is 7, isn't it, Chris?
Force Awakens 7 times at the cinema.
Is that because it was Star Wars Episode 7?
I think it was, good question. It was coincidental more than anything else because I went the last time with my wife and she was like, I'm not coming to you this time. And then she went home, so I was like, that's fine.
I do remember you seeing Last Jedi 9 times, didn't you? Or 8 times?
4 times.
Only a measly 4 times.
But it's only because I had pre-purchased the tickets.
You couldn't get a refund.
And
I had to watch and use my ticket.
I thought we weren't bringing that up this episode.
We wanted to talk about something different, so Star Wars is how we start.
Okay.
Yes.
So look, I saw it 3 times, and look, I know that does seem light for a movie, but I really walked away from the first, after the viewing, I walked away with the same sort of feeling. I'm going, that was so awesome. I want them to stop making movies. I literally
I felt the same way.
I don't want another movie from the Marvels. I want them to be like, that is the Avengers arc. Yeah. That goes on the shelf. We are done.
We're closing. Marvel Studios is closing.
Yeah. I just want to see a shot of Kevin Feige walking through the door after they announced the $2 billion movie, like the highest grossing $1 billion opening weekend, and be like, all right, guys. Shut it down, guys. Lights off.
We're only going to make 2 more Captain Marvel movies and then we're done.
What I want to see is the standard sitcom final episode where they look back and then they turn the lights off.
And someone jumping up in the air with in the middle of a football field or something like that.
That's the kind of feeling I got from that
It's
movie.
very final.
But then Kevin
very
Feige
final.
walks out of the studio and then like 2 dump trucks of money come up. And he's like, oh, okay.
Right.
But I think we should address one of the things, one of the things of all is obviously it's a very good effort that they made. 2.68 at the last
Came
check.
very, very close.
Like it is
Very close.
100
But
million
it's
from.
not going to get it because actually they will now pull it from the cinema.
Yeah.
Because essentially now they will because of the summer movie blockbuster season's coming up.
Yeah.
And so if it wasn't the summer movie season, they might have kept it for a few more months to just see what they can get.
Yeah.
But because it's the summer movie season, the cinemas now will not run Endgame for when they could have like a full cinema for like Spider-Man. They're going to have a full cinema for like other movies. They're going to be like
Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla, and obviously the Aladdin film. They're not going to hold open cinemas just so Avengers can get that target.
Shame on you. You are so close, and you're like, nah, let's pull it.
Look,
It's a good effort. It's a good effort. Fantastic effort.
I don't think anything will ever get Avatar though.
It
To be
beat
honest,
Avatar domestically.
yeah.
It beat
Yeah.
Avatar with highest opening weekend. Like it beat Avatar with a lot of things, but
I just don't think anything will ever get to that 2.7 mark. It's it just seems like it really does seem like a bridge too far. at
not
this
unless
point.
they
If you can't do it,
if
It's gotta be
if Infinity
some-
War can't. If Avengers
if
can't.
Avengers can't do it,
then-
I mean, what's the other biggest next big franchise? Star Wars. They're not going to get nowhere close to that.
they're going down.
They're going down.
They need to earn that.
Yeah,
They need
they're
to
going
earn
in the
that
opposite direction of money.
Well, the penultimate, that final chapter in that saga got ever so close. I agree. I don't think anything is going to knock Avatar off. Even with all the new properties coming to Marvel and stuff like that.
Avatar had the technology too.
Yeah. So Avatar had something to go with. Like it wasn't just a movie.
Yeah.
It's like
It was an event.
it was.
Yeah.
It was a
Here
new
comes 3D.
experience. Yeah.
Here comes
4K,
all this
Yeah, because
stuff.
that was at the height
Here
of
comes
3D, wasn't it, as
increasing
well?
ticket prices.
But I mean, so Jamie likes to harp on about the increased ticket price all the time, but essentially Avengers also use the same ticket prices, so you can't use that as an excuse.
But I think-
they didn't just drop them after Avatar. I'm like, all right, back to normal guys, back to
I do think that it was the height of, obviously it had an IMAX run. It was the height of the 3D, the new technology, everything like that. I mean,
And it was
I haven't seen a
long
3D
time.
movie. I think since Avatar,
because they've all been crap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it was new tech, as you said, new technology. James Cameron's like, look at
But
what we
it
can
wasn't
do.
it, like I actually watched that fairly recently, and I don't mind that movie. It's actually a fairly
not
good
bad,
film.
It's not a bad.
But I definitely think the main reason why it sort of was so groundbreaking in that sense is because before, when you saw a 3-dimensional digital character trying to act with inside of the same space as an actual human character, you could really tell that they can't touch each other, they can't get close to each other. There's a lot of difference in terms of spacing issues, and then obviously the actor also just looks weird looking at nothing, and then you can tell that it's okay, come on. With this one, you couldn't. It looked like I was like going, you're all the same. Awesome.
But also, I think the 3D aspect too was groundbreaking.
Definitely.
I remember seeing it in 3D, and when you go to see a 3D movie, you would, it's popping out of the screen.
That was
Whereas
more
when you
the-
went and saw Avatar, there was,
felt like you were there.
I remember, those things, the little floaty seat things, the little internet seats.
Yeah.
Well, I could see them in front of my face.
And I think also
there
they
were
used the
different
technology
levels.
where it was deep
crazy.
in rather than things coming out of you. I
Rather
remember
than that cruddy post. See, but the post production 3D that people try to put in their film sucked.
Yeah.
They filmed Avatar with 3D cameras specifically designed for 3-dimensional film, which is
because
fine.
it felt like you could put your hand in and delve into the universe rather than just having things fly at your face.
And not to hark on my favorite topic, you can't go wrong pulling a little hero's journey out of anything. Do people want to see the hero's journey? 2.7 billion says they do. 2.7 billion says people do enjoy the hero's journey.
Yes.
And Fern Gully.
Pocahontas.
And Pocahontas.
Hey, I grew up on Fern Gully.
Hey, and if you can put Fern
too,
Gully,
Batty,
Pocahontas,
awesome.
and a sci-fi movie together,
Yeah.
Avatar.
Exactly.
But you know what? Good on James Cameron for that, because he he'd been, and I've said this before to you guys, but James Cameron had actually been writing Avatar since he was a teenager.
Yeah.
Since he was at school, he was writing Avatar.
And he waited. He didn't rush it. He
waited for technology.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you look at anything with the James Cameron name on. Well, most things with the James Cameron
except when
name
he's the executive producer, then that's just his name for money.
Yeah.
But if he's actually just producer or actually like involved directly, then
that he was. I think it was about an hour away from getting Jurassic Park.
Interesting.
Wow.
So Jurassic Park and Steven Spielberg were neck to neck trying to get the rights.
Okay.
But Steven Spielberg got in like an hour, literally an hour or two earlier.
Oh wow! I wonder how different it would have been.
And James Cameron said, "No, well, I would have just made another Alien." Pretty much is what he said. So he's glad that Steven Spielberg got it.
Look, I think Jurassic Park Spielberg was the right one for that one.
Definitely.
Like, I don't think anything. But essentially, So back to Avatar. No, back to.
But no, it was a valiant effort by Endgame, and I think it's well deserved to get that second spot to knock Titanic out of the.
Look, Titanic down is obviously quite good. We'll see if anything can. I mean, they might do one. There might be a big push at the end. You don't know, but I doubt it at this point.
Avengers Avatar crossover. Ooh, they're in the same universe. No, they're under the same banner now.
Right, so the expanded universe.
extended universe.
The extended universe. Okay, so let's talk about Avengers, like we were originally planning to.
So the next alien invasion is the Na'vi.
Jake Sully is an Eternal.
And then what's that? Gamora's like, Jake Sully. The
same chick.
Yeah, and Unobtainium is obviously
laziest MacGuffin ever.
It's not the laziest MacGuffin.
People on board.
This is a new mineral. It's called the MacGuffinitis.
But I still no. Okay, look. Let's talk about. I want to talk about it. Let's talk about the problems with Avatar now. Unobtainium. What does it do? What was their purpose for it? Like, is it like apart from like being a very cool rock? Like, what does it do?
I can answer that question, Chris.
What does it do? You knew that.
2 words. Mm-hmm. Hallelujah Mountains. It's it can hold a very high electrical charge, which makes it great for storing energy, like storing insane amounts of energy because of the maglev effect it has on the planet. It actually is an excellent capacitor, one of the greatest capacitors.
Welcome to Science with Mike.
Well, that makes sense, but it also doesn't because then like they were digging underground for it, not hunting. And that's a whole other point.
True.
Can you give him some? Can you give James Cameron some leeway? He was like a teenager when he.
But also like I will give him no leeway on his mining practices. Let me talk a little bit about
James Cameron's mining practices.
Let me talk a little bit about that. What, like, basically, he was doing basically, I think they call it strip mining, where they basically just destroy everything, rip everything out. That's that's one, not even the most environmentally, it's not the best way of mining, but economically, it's actually not the best way of mining. You actually dig under, and then you rip out from the ground directly, and then you basically very little damage to the surface, and then essentially you are still getting just as much minerals. When you're doing the version he was doing, you have to actually rip all the trees down. You got to do a lot of extra additional work.
Yeah, but you do know why he did that, right?
Oh look, message, metaphors, blah blah blah. But I'm going. If I was in that world of corporation, I'd go to that culprit guy and go, hey, I could get you the same amount of rock, no people shooting bows at you and trying to kill you, and everyone will be happy. And I would. And then also it would be like a 10-minute long movie of me just successfully running a business.
Successfully running a business. It becomes just nothing. It's just like,
it's a shady business.
It's a shady business, yeah. But they're going, we use environmentally sound mining devices, and we and we tunnel dig, and then essentially we leave all the trees alone. Okay, cool.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, National Geographic, for that you can't say you don't learn anything when you listen to our podcast.
All right, let's go around favourite moments of Avengers and then things you hated about it because you have to be at least somewhat subjective.
Oh, right.
I wonder what he hates about it.
I wonder.
No. Yeah, I don't know.
No. Like Mjolnir. Captain America wielding. That was like the moment I went,
yeah.
You know? I'm pretty sure I grabbed Ryan's leg.
Oh, it was...
And he was on the other side of the cinema.
It was very rare.
That wasn't his leg.
I also enjoyed that part of the movie, which is why that was to grab him.
I was very happy.
That's the noises I heard.
I was very happy to see Korg again.
Yes, that was very
Yeah.
cool.
Like,
Yep.
I loved Korg ever since Ragnarok and
Yeah.
that, and it was great seeing different takes on different characters, like how Thor was just like a drunken mess, and
The Big Lebowski,
Yeah,
I think,
the Big Lebowski,
said in
but
essence.
so I was talking to a kid at work about it all, and he pointed something out that Hulk was the only one, Bruce Banner was the only one that didn't really lose anyone in the snap.
No.
No.
Like
He doesn't really
didn't
have anyone. That's
No.
the thing. So there's no one to lose, I guess.
And they kind of removed that whole Black Widow Hulk thing after Age of Ultron.
Because that was a really dumb idea.
And that was a Joss Whedon idea.
And the thing they realized that obviously it should have been Cap and Black Widow, but let's not again. I'm not
should
gonna,
have-
Well, if you want to go technically,
We insulted people.
I'm not being that guy.
But you're right.
But I am being that guy.
I will totally be that guy.
But
He didn't have anyone
he
to lose.
also, this kid is
What about
pretty,
Scarlet
he's a
and
pretty,
Hawkeye?
pretty smart kid. It's a different kind of relationship.
Anyway.
Right? It's like
Well, they didn't even bring in Betty or
he
anything
said
like that.
this kid he said they could have done instead of a Captain Marvel movie, they could have done like a Hulk movie
Yes.
where you could, and then instead of he had this idea of them teaming up with the Ravagers and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So instead of Captain Marvel coming back to save the day, it could have been the Ravagers with Rocket or whoever, and
And they could have also even thrown in his because obviously General Ross Thunderbolt Ross has been in the movie still going up to it.
Yeah.
You could still have had Betty and she could have gone in the
Yeah.
snap, and Hulk would have felt that sense of loss that everyone else did, rather than just sort of
Also,
getting rid of that rage monster and turning it into Professor.
Also, on another note with the Raiders, they would actually the Ravagers. Sorry, the Tachyon arrow that would have made mincemeat of Thanos. Like all they'd have to do stand
Well,
back.
I've seen lots of stuff online saying that they Yondu had to get killed off because of that particular reason.
See, I'm a little bit skeptical if that would be the case, because
Or if you just catch it and break it.
Well, not just that. Just Thanos was a tougher fight in this one, and I realized I was watching this, and I was going, "Oh, why couldn't Thor easily kill him this time?" I was like, "Going, actually, it's not because Thanos is. Yes, they depowered Thor. They realized after Ragnarok he was pretty much invincible, so they had to they had to drop him down a few levels. That's fine. Again,
they made him fat.
They made him fat. They brought him down. But essentially, when you saw Thor, when Thor first fought Thanos had the drop on him. Destroyed his people. Thor obviously, but then I realized one thing. That's I was watching the film. I was like, going, "Oh, Thanos' armor is really good." Like that's essentially as you realize, you go, "Oh yeah." In Infinity War, he takes it off and he's wearing nothing for the whole movie because he's so powerful. He's not versing anyone of his level. But now he's versing people of his level. He's wearing the armor, and it's keeping him alive.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm like, hey. That's why we wear armor into battle.
Exactly. It was really well done the way that armor was taking all of the punishment.
Yeah, I was like, that's if I was an immortal being, I'd also probably want some decent armor, or semi-immortal as you were. All right, so Jamie, that was the thing. What about the thing you hated the most about it? Or not the thing, but your little nitpicky. What's your one nitpick?
I could say Captain Marvel, but
you don't want to be that guy.
I don't want to be that guy. I trust the Russell Brothers, and they did a good job of it. But the thing that pissed me off about Captain Marvel the most was when Chris told me about this leak about.
But we don't know if it's true, but it does seem like
Doctor Strange was going to take down that ship.
Maybe it was just one of those things that was discussed in the cutting room.
Yeah, it could have been.
Maybe it was
one of the because they would have had several possible outcomes.
But look, I don't fault them for trying to promote Captain Marvel, because she's also signed on for a bunch of movies, and none of their other Avengers are.
Yeah,
and so
except for Hemsworth.
Obviously, the rumors are signed on. Chadwick Boseman's got a few signed on for. But their big cast is gone. So they had to at least try to promote the next level, next group of Avengers. Was it is she the leader? No. Is she a Thor type? Yes. Yeah, it's fine.
But look,
she's going to be the big hitter.
Yeah,
and that's it. I think that's all they'll really use her for. Going by That's pretty much all they used her for. Like we said before, she was a gopher. Go and get Tony Stark. All I did is she was a gopher in Avengers in Endgame, and to be honest with you, I was fine with that.
Yeah.
I really can't think of anything overly negative right now.
Okay.
But no, I mean, a whole hour was cut from the script, so...
I mean, there's lots... I mean, you could have had a lot more in that movie that they didn't have. Yeah. Okay. What about you, Ryan?
Well, look... I can't say my favourite moment because Jamie has already said that, but a couple of standout moments for me. I think we can all agree seeing the first portal from Doctor Strange, and then just seeing them opening up throughout the whole sky and just having it light up. I love the fact that when Falcon flew, he said on your left as he flew past Steve Rogers. I love the fact that it was just. Everyone was there. Howard the Duck was there. Korg was there. Meek was there. All these characters that you're like.
Oh, was Howard the Duck
in here for one little thing?
Yeah, you have to look for him.
You see, I've always wondered. Awesome. I do want to go back once it comes on Blu-ray. It's like what armies were actually at that battle? Because a lot of ships turned up, and I was like going. Who did they know with ships? Exactly.
And
I was like,
Doctor Strange could have done a lot of.
I mean, obviously, Doctor Strange went around to a lot of different places and went, "Hey, do you want to come join this battle?"
No.
Yeah, it's like a facial cut.
There was a considerable time before they came back and joined the battle at the right time. Doctor Strange was like, "Hey, you, would you like to come fight?"
No, but here's the thing, Jimmy. There was literally no time before they unzapped them. Basically,
5-10 minutes.
Actually, there was.
Because but essentially, as we all know, Doctor Strange had planned this ahead.
Yeah.
So he knew exactly who he was going to get, who he was going to bring across.
And you got to think
he had it all pretty much like
he did. The spaceships make
planned.
sense because Thanos is from the galaxy. Like everyone out there, I'm sure the Ravengers knew. I'm sure everyone.
I'm sure they could schedule off enough people who owe the Guardians a favor to go. Hey, look, there's a battle. Come join it.
Another one of. Sorry, go, John.
Oh, there's this question that's been going around. It's like when the big epic, everyone's moving forward into the battle. What is Spider-Man swinging off?
Giant Man. I saw the Giant Man thing.
But like that was like a meme thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
But he's too far ahead.
No. He was swinging from something.
I reckon it was one of the ships.
No, he was swinging from something from that side of the portal into.
So he swung through.
Yeah. So like, people will be like, "Shut up, it's fine." Like,
I will say also another one of my absolute favourite moments is you want to talk about Captain Marvel being the powerful woman, but that scene with Scarlet Witch and the
God, Scarlet Witch
pretty much was going to kill Thanos. You could tell that you took my vision. I'm going to take your face. That
was literally one that like I know, it's really funny. They're trying so hard to make Captain Marvel this thing, and it's like you got one. It's called Wanda.
And because of that, there was no build up, no nothing. That made me go, that is a strong woman. She almost took down Thanos herself. And at the end of the day, Captain Marvel did the same kind of thing, but there was nothing behind that,
Captain Marvel's one was like she's like again like
there's no emotional connection.
It's a bit unfortunate that she has had very little time in the MCU because there's no stakes to her. There's like okay, you're there, but like there was multiple years between Civil War and Infinity War where they were living on the run, they were together, and then obviously like she was technically the one that killed him. She was the one that broke the stone, and then essentially, then he obviously came back when the use of time to rip it out again. But it was her that killed him, and so Thanos is to her is basically the ultimate thing. And the line where she's like, "I'm gonna make you pay." He's like, I don't even know who you are.
I believed it, and
she's like, "You will." I was like, "Oh yes."
Feel her taking those memories of what happened to Vision and everything, and I believed that. I believed her hurt, and I could see, and that was why I think we all came out, and I think it was one of the first things we said. Wow, that was just an amazing moment. And you're right, it's a movie filled with amazing moments. But and I agree.
What's your nitpick?
I don't have much. To be honest with you, I'm a big fan of Ant-Man. I'm a fan of Scott Lang. Paul Rudd plays that character fantastically.
He does. Incredible.
While obviously he had a big part in everything happening.
Saving
I would
the
have liked to
universe.
see a
Yep,
little bit
yep.
more.
Why? I mean, he saved the universe. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, what more part
We
did you
all
want
know the
him?
rap. So
No, but that, like, I love the Ant-Man movies. I think it's a good bit of comic relief.
Yeah. They're fun movies, yeah.
Like,
But
what
yeah,
was
to be honest with you,
like, sorry, Ryan, but that was what was like I think so good about Ant-Man's role in Endgame was because those movies, the Ant-Man movies, were so lighthearted, and fun and hilarious, and then for them to play this huge role in the Endgame,
This pivotal.
is awesome. I love that. Like laying out of nowhere. Oh, hey guys, I'm here. Can I like just come in?
Let me in,
Time heist.
and that was what it felt like.
Dorky. This
are you
dorky,
basing
you know?
this plan off?
And they
Back
didn't
to
go
the
over.
Future?
Yeah, he's like, no, totally not.
One of the
I
biggest
love
fears
that.
was that they were going to go overboard with the time thing, and I don't think they did.
No, they did really well.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to do it. There was one or two little hiccups which brought some fantastic moments, Cap versus Cap, and
that is
all
America's
that kind
ass.
of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
and all those little payoffs.
So your nitpick is basically not enough Scott Lang. Okay, Mike, what's your favorite thing? What's your nitpick?
And that's a very little nitpick because it was made.
Okay, my very favorite scene in that movie was basically just that scene, Captain America, right? Beaten, bloodied, half dead, just hopeless. And then he gets up, he tightens the straps on his shield, and he just stands there against Thanos, his army, the ship, all of the
Black
shit.
Order, all of
that,
them.
even before everyone else came. Forget that noise.
Yeah.
Captain America standing there against Thanos by him fucking self.
Was not giving up.
Yeah,
It's really it's really
Just
incredible how
that.
movies try to make these iconic scenes. And essentially, there's no more iconic scene, even the way the landscape's done, where there's a valley and a
just
hill
that
that rise,
the shot.
and then there's the island on one side, and he's standing alone on the hill.
Just that
and it's
hero,
basically,
like-
you know, and you like. And you know, you look at there's a saying that there's a saying in business that we say all the time, like oh, is that the hill you're willing to die on?
Yeah.
And then for Cap, that was absolutely the hill he was willing to die on. And
he didn't know that Doctor Strange.
he didn't know that. He was just willing to stand on that hill and die. I was like,
he
yes,
was
Cap.
like,
And that's the thing, he was willing to do it.
He's like broken. He's like
It was pretty much, you're going to have to go through me to get rid of the...
and he just looked right at Thanos and said, you know what, screw you.
Oh, yeah, look,
I could do it all day.
Even
You may as well
before
have just
everyone
said
else
that,
came.
you know? That
And
line.
then everyone else comes in and it's just like blows incredible. But just that scene of Cap getting up, tightening the shield, his broken shield, all hope is gone. He's like, you know what? Nah, I'm still doing this. Like that was just that.
But you got to admit, when everyone started to come,
that was-
he's probably like, oh, thank God. I would have done it, but at least I'm going to make it out of this.
And then the cherry on top of that is just when he says assemble.
We've been waiting for 4 films.
And I'm glad they held it back.
Assemble the Avengers.
We were so close at the end of Civil War. Avengers.
And
And then you're like,
Oh,
you know he said it.
But that
We
wouldn't have
didn't hear
meant
it.
much. That was only a small, like, for the whole, to have that army and to have everyone who's ever wanted to be, whoever has been an Avenger.
I still maintained it would have been very Life of Brian though, because there's so many people there. And he's like, Avengers, assemble.
Big
Sorry,
man.
what?
Well, I mean, he didn't really need to say it.
No.
Did you say ensemble? No, what?
Ensemble. So, Michael, that was your greatest moment, which is a very, again, awesome moment. Nitpick.
Nitpicks. Okay, I have 2 nitpicks.
Ooh.
Excellent. 2 nitpicks.
Gather round, children.
One is completely stupid, but it's still my nitpick.
It's your nitpick.
Hawkeye's haircut.
We went over this. It's not his fault. He barber was snapped away.
I've lost my family. I'm going to get a mohawk now to express my feelings. Oh, I hated it. I hated his haircut. That's like my bane.
He may as well have
40-year-old
had
man
the Tobey
being a
Maguire
teenage
emo.
The rest of the movie, emotionally incredible and a revelation of filmmaking. Hawkeye's haircut, not so. My second gripe, I would say, little things, because the whole movie was just amazing. I've nothing bad to say. Just the one thing was, I thought it could have done with a little more of the
Punching.
If you would, but like I think. it's like if you guys remember early on in Avengers, when they first brought in Hawkeye and Widow, there was a bit of history there between those two. Not a relationship, but like a friendship. Warriors together doing missions. I actually wanted to see a little bit more of that. If they touch on it. They touch on it on the Mountain of the Soul Stone, but I would have liked to have seen a bit more history between them, because all of a sudden it became about Widow and Hulk, which, for the record, I always hated.
Black Widow and Hawkeye in the comics for a very, very long time were, as well as Cap.
Yeah.
But that, essentially, they were the first two, to kind of get it on, and. There is that history, but and I was fine with the brothers in arms kind of feeling, but explore it a little bit more.
Yeah, like I would have liked to have seen what happened in Budapest.
There's still talks of a Black Widow movie.
Obviously,
they're actually already filming it now.
I would actually love to see
and they might even, you never know, we might even see.
And it might not be a prequel. There's rumor. This is an internet rumor, so don't take it for a grain of salt.
It takes place between her falling and
like Cap returned the Soul Stone. Does that mean he gets the soul back?
Oh yeah. And the other thing, while we're on that topic, Cap, he's going to see Red Skull again. Like, how's that meeting going to go?
Why are we not seeing that movie? Like, I want to see that movie. I was like, hello, Captain. Oh, come on. Like, the thing writes itself. Like, anyway. So that's it. Well, okay, so...
Yeah, those are my two gripes. The rest of the...
And I'm finding all of our gripes are very, very...
All right, so I'm going to talk about my the things I like, and also my gripes. So the things I liked actually were not actually even in the movie. It was what was said after the movie, from like when the directors did this big Q&A thing, and they answered a lot of questions, and like it answered my hopes well. Like my fear was like one of my fears was like, what is with Cap going back and basically like living his normal life, and people felt sorry for the actor from season 1 of Peggy Carter, Agent Shield, which is her husband.
Haley Atwell,
her husband. Where obviously Cap just went back and went, sorry, guy. Like anyway,
but hey,
but damn it, you deserved it. So shut up.
That her first husband would have stepped aside.
No. I would have stepped aside. No. If Cap comes up, you're stepping aside.
Yeah.
But the things the things that I really like about that whole interplay is where they sort of confirmed that in the timelines that because no Soul Stone was removed, so essentially like at that point there was 2 Captain Americas within the time frame. There's one who was basically living with Petty Carter, being a boring ass normal dude, and there's one running around being an Avenger. I'm like going, because you always ask. We actually talked about Cap going back in time before, and then we always raised the question, but how would he then not want to get back into the fight? This is the perfect way of doing it.
He's going to know there's another one there.
He is already in the fight.
Yeah.
But then it makes a few things really interesting when you think about that. Is when Peggy Carter was in the hospital being sick and dying, and then Cap goes I've got to dance, of course I'm going to have one last with my best gal. She has to pretend to be sad, even though like Steve's like,
because that's a different Steve.
But the Steve in that moment, there's another Steve already there, like, and she's lived a happy long life with Steve.
Steve's in the closet.
Yeah, he's hiding, going.
I can't let him know.
He actually could have been.
Exactly. But again, they also somewhat confirmed that they had children, which means they've put James Rogers in play. And so I'm like going, James Rogers is in play, which means if they ever think that that there's not enough Captain America in it, they could always go, look, there's his son or daughter, I don't care which one.
Okay, I have a question though.
Yeah.
Now, given the nature of Captain America's powers, how he got them in the experiment.
Yes.
Does his son come out?
Yes.
Well, it would.
Well, he doesn't come out of the uterus fully.
He would.
He's got the super soldier serum.
The serum is inside of him.
I'll take it from here, Doc.
So the serum was passed genetically.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So essentially, yes. So again,
not as strong as Cap. Not as strong as Cap, still, because he's got half of his mum. But it's still.
But again, the point is, my thing is, he's in play. Let's again.
He's in the toy box, so to speak.
I wouldn't think they would go to him unless they start failing, and then absolutely they will go back to that toy box and go, look, you love Captain America here.
and I'd be fine.
You know what? I would be like, yes, I will take a slice of that. But the thing is, a nitpick. It's not really my nitpick is not really a nitpick, but I think it's what I find interesting is like we have those amazing characters. like Captain America, who's basically the uncompromising hero. But then in the movie, you also have the characters that have to do dark, dirty things, and then just basically live with the consequences. So one of my favorite heroes, Doctor Strange, knew that he had to sacrifice Iron Man off the table. That was literally his play, and he had to live with that. Like he literally said, like that moment where he looks at Iron Man and holds up his finger, it's like going, "This is yep. You know exactly what you got to do, buddy." Yeah. And then the look back of the look on Iron Man's face was like when we realized he's like, "Oh, you dick."
But then obviously Tony Stark, being the hero that he is, knew what he had to do. He still did it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then also on that same side, we have Nebula, who then sent 2 people off to die to get the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
She knew exactly.
She knew exactly what
happened.
She knew that only one of them was going to come back.
Yeah, and so if that's not dark as all hell.
She's still a bit of a cold character, though.
Yeah.
I'm more feeling for Doctor Strange because Nebula is. She's on the spectrum of being evil.
What part of the conversation where we should be like, which one of you 2 really likes each other? Like, 2 have to get the Soul Stone.
Why don't you just go pick like Howard the Duck?
But it'd be preferable if they like each other. Any 2, but if they didn't like each other.
Oh, look, Vision's dead, so we can't send them off. Let's send the next best thing. No, I agree, but that could have been her evil side going, "I'm going to help you, but." I really don't like you.
Again, there are such few problems in this movie.
Yeah.
I like that they killed Iron Man, and I know this sounds horrible, but
no, someone had to die.
But if they
started with
and I'll be honest, they knew if they had killed Cap, you wouldn't get much repeat viewings because that's that's ending a movie on a sad note. That's like just ripping your heart out.
Because as much as you love Robert Downey Jr., like he's one of my favorites because he started all of it. But you're right.
Yeah, ripping your heart out and stepping it on would just be like I'm not seeing it multiple times. I'd be like, no, you know what?
I'll wait. I'll wait till it comes out on Blu-ray and cry in the comfort of my own home.
Thank you very much.
I agree.
On that note, I also just remembered another little nitpick that I actually have. Sorry to hijack you there, Chris.
Go for it.
I just found another little nitpick that I have. It's just personal opinion, but I think when Captain gave his shield so I was like, I would have rather have seen Bucky get it, to be honest.
And he does get it first in the comics.
There's no history between when old Cap's sitting there at the bench. Why isn't Bucky there? I want to see because they're friends from the start. I wanted to see it end with Bucky.
You see, I think there's a more logical conclusion to that. Then I understand that. I was like, yes, both of them have been Captain America, both Winter Soldier and things. But essentially, I think it's more on. And Cap knows it. It's more Captain America doesn't have to be the strongest Avenger. But he has to be the one with he has to be the North Star. He has to be the compass that points north.
Oh, so he's the heart of the group.
Yeah. So basically, look, would Winter Soldier be a more powerful Captain America?
Yes.
But is he's got that compass that points always north? No. And so from that standpoint,
someone can come along and activate him.
Literally, someone can activate, and you can't.
Baron Zemo's not dead,
and you can't have Captain America with so much blood on his hand. Captain America is that, and Steve Rogers knows that.
True, yeah.
I mean, the good thing is Steve Rogers got to sit back and watch everyone talk about Captain America whilst he was pretending to be a normal person, and he understands what Captain America is now. That's why he gave the shield.
Yeah,
because
true.
it's like he knows what it's about. Like, you've
obviously thought about this,
of course.
Or it could be something as simple as in the comics when Cap got really old. He gave the shield to. That's when he gave the shield to Sam.
Yeah.
Bucky only got the shield because Captain America died at the end of Civil War in the comics.
Okay.
So he wasn't actually given the shield by Cap. He took on the responsibility. Whereas in the comics, when Cap actually did age, he gave the shield to the Falcon.
Now I
understand.
Yeah, so look, I think I agree that a lot of people have that same sort of that same nitpick, and it is a fair one. It is a fair nitpick, but
So that's evolved my nitpick somewhat into a more like I would have like
Sam's a bit more pure.
Like I think I think it's evolved it now that I would have still liked to have seen a little more interchange.
And I think look, you've got the Winter Soldier Falcon TV show coming to Disney Plus. They're probably going to explore it, and there's no saying that Bucky won't be Captain
More
America
importantly, let us not forget that now we know that Captain America has had children with Peggy Carter. He made out with his blood relative.
Yeah. Ew.
What?
Sharon Carter.
Ew.
But that's in the comics too. Literally in the comics. In the comics they do more than make out. In the comics they're down and dirty and they fornicate multiple times.
And here's my theory. During that 5-year gap between Civil War, you don't know what they did.
Oh, I know what they did.
Boom shaka.
Anyway, but I just think, again...
How awkward would it be when Sharon is born?
Yeah.
And Cap's like, who's your favourite uncle? I don't think Captain would do that.
No, you see, again, I mean, I would imagine he would have had to, like, really try hard to, like, I mean, he would just basically be like, oh, you look Captain America. I get that all the time. You know, you'd have to be, like, just completely, like, normal. And then, like, that'd be very hard to not be super powerful and strong all the time. And just walk around like, mowing my lawn. Like, actually, no.
Captain America mowing a lawn.
I want to see that movie more than anything now. Captain America not being Captain America.
It'd be a romantic comedy directed by
basically having like him going to school, pick up his kid, having him like drop him off, and then you know, kid coming to him saying, "Oh, I want to go to Europe for the summer," and then he's like, "You got to get your grades up," and then like you know
that he's going to drop the kids off at school. Peggy's going to be at work, and he's going to be like.
And he's
maybe like fight some crime.
Some small level, low level crime fighting.
No. What happens?
Exactly. Low level crime fighting.
No, not even that. Not even that. What happens is like he'll be doing his everyday thing, and then he'll hear something on the radio of an emergency, and he'll go, and then he'll stop himself, and then go.
I'd like to think he'd become like a policeman or a firefighter or something.
Yeah.
Because like
the reason why that wouldn't work is like going, oh my god, that building's on fire. You ran up 14 stories in a minute and dragged like 15 people out. You're the greatest fireman alive. It's like
I had my
like
my song. I can actually see
that. Why do I have these orchestra following me around every time I go to a fireman
working to that song?
Actually,
that would actually be cool. I would like to see Steve Rogers as a fireman.
Yeah,
they did it in the Superman comics. That's what they gave when Clark in one of the I think it was a Rebirth issue. Clark Kent wasn't he was fired from the Daily Planet. He became a firefighter. Clark Kent became a firefighter and was a firefighter and was okay because he was
because he rocks up and goes
obviously he couldn't do that.
You see, police officer is too conspicuous. Firefighter would be the perfect role. I think I agree with Jamie.
Yeah.
I want to see the movie Captain America firefighter.
Ladder 49, John Travolta.
Yeah, Ladder
49, Ladder 50. Oh, Captain! But at least he got the send off that we all wanted him to get.
Draft.
He got one of the send offs I wanted him.
Yeah. It was better than
I'm not
dying.
sure if it was my first choice of send offs, but it was.
You wanted the big ass statue.
I did. There was two things.
That still happened though.
There was two things I wanted. One, I either wanted the huge big ass statue, or basically, actually, he did get the walk away from the sunset thing. So I guess it's kind of like, you know.
I thought his send off was perfect.
Well, in talking about his send off, I actually read something today that one of the big things about, unfortunately, before Stan Lee passed away, that Stan Lee's cameo in Endgame was actually supposed to be portraying Old Man Cap, but they were worried that fans would get a bit confused and not doing that. So that's why they went with the younger. You know, the hit back when they went back in time.
You know what? I'm very disappointed that they didn't do that. Because then that means Captain America's just been everywhere in the entire movie, just hanging out.
I literally only read that.
Okay, I'm mad now because that'd been amazing. Like he's like, you know, then that's literally Captain America
going through time,
just hanging out, like
hanging out with watches, hanging out with
multiverses,
and then that thing of him lifting the hammer to wipe down the table.
That would make sense.
Yeah, which one was that in?
Perfect.
That was in
Ultron. Ultron.
Age of Ultron, and then then that also means Cap was a DJ in a strip club for Deadpool in the cameo
Again,
and then Cap went to the X-Men universe before they even merged over.
so basically, I'm so disappointed.
And Spider-Man as well.
Now the Captain America to number 4 now, and I'm very I'm livid. I'm so disappointed now.
Because also remember was it in Civil War? No, it was in Age of Ultron. Or one of the cameos he had, he was an he was a war veteran.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
talking about the battles he used to have. And then Cap carried old Cap. See?
It works.
Man.
In time, yeah.
What you're thinking now? I just literally read that today. That was what was supposed to happen, but then obviously
Why
did this information have to be revealed?
But it makes sense. And he also would have been in the Andrew Garfield's and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies as well. So Cap travelled back in time and across universes as well.
Okay, look, I'm. Okay, look, I can.
Sorry.
You hit a roadblock, haven't you, Chris?
It kind of makes sense when you think about it.
It does. It makes too much sense.
Especially that him lifting the hammer to wipe now that he's worthy.
Look, I like the fact that they cleared up that, because a lot of the internet had a really dumb theory. I'm not saying it wasn't a good theory. I think it's just a really dumb theory where they're going, it's because Captain America knew that the Winter Soldier killed Iron Man's mother. That's why he couldn't pick up the hammer. It's like not revealing information. If that's all it takes to not be worthy, geez,
I honestly agree with the theory that he almost did lift it up, but he saw the look on Thor's face.
And the directors have already confirmed that that's what happened. He lifted it up. Thor freaked out, so he let it go.
And if you go back and watch Age of Ultron, which
that's exactly what happened.
You can tell he's not using all of him, and
and then when you hear that squeaking sound, Thor panics. So he goes.
And just that one little look, it's just like he's smiling, he's like,
exactly.
And Cap's like,
I can't lift it. Lift it. It's like, and so everyone shut up. He's always been worthy, and he'll always will be worthy.
Of course. And being worthy, if you're not going to be worthy, look at some of the stuff Thor has done. And yes, there's been times where he hasn't been able to wield it, but I mean, I don't think something as small as that.
It's worthy of misholding some information.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all. Is that all of a sudden, he's in a battle, and then the hammer doesn't come to him. He goes, oh no. I didn't pay the parking ticket. Oh no! The power. The Red Skull's fighting Captain America. And Red Skull's laughing. Goes, I got you now, Cap. What do you mean? He also goes, I rented this DVD in your name. It is now 3 weeks overdue. 3 weeks. And then like, oh no! I'm no longer worthy. Come on, let's be serious here.
It's not it's not like a.
There's no tally system in this hammer lifting.
If you murdered a few people, you might not be worthy, but I don't think that.
I don't know, because Steve murders a ton of people.
Yeah, if your murders have been acknowledged,
it's war.
Okay, but again, people.
The ship scene.
That ship scene when he kicks that dude is instantly dead.
They didn't acknowledge that, so therefore it doesn't impact his
that dude is dead.
The spine is no more.
But again, they're bad guys, pirates.
Yeah, but again, that shield it's basically it's vibranium. It's basically almost indestructible. It's shock absorbent, so then you get the full impact of it. That thing, when that shield hits you, your insides are basically mushed.
Yeah, maybe that's a deleted scene in Thor. You see Odin riding on the worthy, and then turns it unless you're Captain America and killed a few pirates, we're okay.
The question is vibranium versus adamantium.
That's actually an interesting one for the comics as well. There's a lot of that in the comics.
Adamantium is breakable. In the they proved that there was an arc last year called Death of Wolverine, where he died, and actually, not last year, 5 years ago, he actually stayed dead for 5 years,
which is the longest death in a comic book history.
Yeah, because they tried to do that with Cyclops, he lasted a year, and same with Professor Xavier, but adamantium, if the heating cooling thing actually does work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it has to be extreme heat and extreme cold.
So basically, any fire villain could pretty much get.
Whereas vibranium, aside from Interworld.
Again,
Baby Eternals.
The one thing that really was the one thing that really got annoyed me about people are going, how did Thanos' sword cut Captain America's shield? Because it's the strongest metal that they know about on Earth.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure the Titan sword might be able
Maybe
to
he
cut it.
well, as you say, he's the weakest Eternal. Maybe they know a little bit of something.
Maybe
about
they
weapons.
know a little bit of something about weapons.
Maybe this was made by whoever it is of the Eternals that's a Smith.
Exactly.
Yeah, like the Forge Father or something ridiculous. Who created like this amazingly ultimate weapon, like going, but don't fight any humans with shields, guy. Like,
But to answer your question, Mike, vibranium hands down. Hands down. It is literally the strong. Whether the X-Men are in your universe at all, it is the strongest metal known to man.
But let's all not forget that the whole MCU falls apart when you put Magneto into it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like literally the whole thing.
But you know what they're going to say? You know what they're going to say? Vibranium. They'll say vibranium, for whatever reason, doesn't fall into that category of metal. Even though I'm just saying that's not correct.
I know.
That's what they'll say.
But again, like my gauntlet. Oh no, my gauntlet. You mean my gauntlets?
But they'll go. But I mean, that's what they did with the adamantium.
Yeah.
They played off that. They didn't sugarcoat it in X-Men 1.
Oh, he ripped all the adamantium off.
Just like Trent.
Yeah. But again, like, oh, I'm Iron Man. Oh no.
I'm Plastic Man.
In their defense, Iron Man's done.
Oh yeah, no, but like, there's going to be a female Iron Man. That's going to happen.
But that's the Ironheart run in the comics at the moment is going off.
Ironheart's coming in.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I've read it. It's actually a really good.
And I was actually thinking about who would be a good Ironheart in this current cinematic universe. I don't think they've introduced her yet.
I think they'll stick with That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's an important character because it is the spiritual legacy successor to Iron Man. So that's
I hope they do it. They're either going to do that or they're going to go with that Iron Lad theory, which is what was the guy's name from Iron Man 3?
I don't really want to see any more Iron Man stuff.
I don't think we will for a while.
We're
not. Obviously, Thor now with obviously
he's technically still alive, right?
Sorry.
Iron Man's technically still alive.
How?
Because he doesn't die till 2023.
Well, that's the same with Loki. Technically, Loki's still alive because he escaped with the Tesseract in.
Well, Loki created a parallel universe. That's the whole thing, though. Loki's accidentally. Loki's broken time.
Go that Loki.
Yeah.
But now, and also the other spoiler, obviously Thor going off with the Guardians.
As Guardians of the Galaxy.
And which is actually
that's a comic
a current comic run is
as Guardians of the Galaxy.
So I like how they played off that a little bit.
And me and Chris talked about this, but at first we were like, but he's too powerful. But then Chris said, but Adam Warlock's going to be...
But that's
I'm
Thor versus Adam Warlock.
Yeah, but the funny thing is I couldn't see like the plucky Guardians fight Adam Warlock without dying, without Thor.
And
let's go, guys. Adam Warlock should be like, just mowing them down.
That's obviously why, because Adam Warlock is he's up there.
You can't fight Adam Warlock without Thor being on the team.
He's the human axiom, isn't he? He's the pinnacle of human evolution.
Well, and he's one of the only other people to wield the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, he actually, in the comics, he actually split into two.
So I think
I think
technically three.
Yeah. I think it makes perfect sense to say Thor helps the Guardians fight
Adam Warlock.
And everyone will be happy about that.
I like the concept art. I like the concept art.
Oh yeah, that concept art. If you get a chance, jump on Google and search for concept art for Adam Warlock. It looks.
I've always liked Adam Warlock as a character.
Yeah. I mean, we're all just waiting for them to announce the slate of films. I think everyone's.
I've seen a lot of fake stuff around.
The big fan service one was like Captain Marvel and Valkyrie. I'm like, shut up.
Or Black Panther Secret Wars. I was like, no, if you're going to do Secret Wars, it's going to be a big thing.
I don't want to see any more of. I want to see a whole new thing.
They ruined Secret Wars. They can't really do it.
Because you can't do Secret Wars because you made the Skrulls good. You stupid people. Why did you? Anyway.
Oh, that was Secret Invasion. No, Secret Wars.
That's right. Secret Wars.
Secret Wars, the Beyonder and the Grandmaster, who we know as Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
They create a pocket universe. They get all the heroes there.
That's right.
Yeah. Champions.
That's right.
And that's where the first appearance of the Venom symbiote comes in.
That was a toy. That was only a toy gimmick, wasn't it? Secret Wars. The original one was made because of the toy.
Oh yeah, but that was back in the day when they used to make comics just for the toys.
Yeah.
But that was the first appearance of the black Spider-Man suit. So
that's dumb. I don't want to see that movie.
Yeah. But Secret Invasion is not going to happen. As much as it's a great arc, it's not because of the Skrulls and stuff.
Yeah, they screwed up the Skrulls. That's fine.
My nephew had 2 questions about Thanos and Infinity.
And is he listening right now?
Yes, he has 4 penises.
No, but I'll let him know.
Like a cow.
One,
Like an udder.
Another.
if you know how when Thanos snaps everyone away, and then when Hulk brings them back, they appear in the very same place.
Yes.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, theoretically.
Theoretically, yeah. Well, what if someone disappeared on a plane?
They're dead.
Do they reappear in the air, or do they reappear in the...
Or does the...
In the crash wreckage,
I suppose
crashed after they disappeared.
Well, not everyone would have left the plane.
Again, but essentially there's only like a couple of hundred planes in the sky per...
Yeah, well,
so maybe that's just an unfortunate thing.
Look, it would just be an unfortunate death.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
collateral damage.
So you legit think that they would just reappear in the sky?
No, like the plane would have landed somewhere, and then they would appear in the plane.
In the plane, yeah. So that's much logical.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other one was when Thanos snaps, half, yes,
Yeah.
half of every thing in the universe, or every person in the universe disappears.
Yes.
What if it's an odd number?
And I discussed this with you, and I believe that
The last person is cut in half.
No, I think it's a more obvious solution to that. He just kills a little bit more to round up.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Thanos is kind of a rounding up kind of guy.
And I said to you in text, in that scene with Gamora's homeworld, they weren't counting. They were just going,
they were just like,
you guys go here,
it's
you
like
guys
when
go
you go-
here.
when you used to go to a school dance.
We'll kill one side of you. Like,
When you used to go to a school dance, okay, half of you on this side, half of you on this side. I'm pretty sure they're done. Okay, let's just pause for 2 hours while we count everyone.
yeah, there wasn't like Thanos' greatest assistant, like the counter who's like going, yes, 5.
He's got an abacus.
353 on that
I
side.
don't know. Who's the guy who thought Doctor Strange in the first one?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his name.
The bean counter guy, the
one, and
Mr. Fingers.
I think I have an idea.
You know that guy?
Yeah. Maybe he's meticulous.
He looks like an accountant. I don't know why. He looks like an accountant.
But again, also,
I think
Thanos' theory is also flawed, because when he goes to kill half of them, he actually already attacks them and attacks the planet, destroys a whole bunch of military defenses, things. He's not counting going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No.
But I mean, his name is the Mad Titan.
Yeah.
He's insane. Yes, people forget that because he's talking calm.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's not insane.
No,
that makes you even more insane.
what you're saying is
survival of the fittest.
It's like how I make pancakes. I don't follow instructions. I kind of just go.
But you would think if Thanos was really going to follow instructions, he wouldn't just carve it. He'd go, okay, you're the best half.
Yeah.
You're the worst half. I'm going to kill you because that's the survival of the fittest thing.
Yeah.
I think
I'm just going to
yeah.
kill a whole bunch of people and everyone will be grateful.
And I'm going to put it down to survival of the fittest. That's going to be my logic.
Yeah.
But really, I just want to kill people. So, yeah.
But again, remember, in the comics, Thanos is not the strongest of the villains in the comic universe.
No. He's not even close.
He's not even like... But again, he was the strongest that they had in the current rights that they hold.
Yes.
Oh no! Look, I am very happy that they chose him.
I think it's a good first villain. Now do another... here's what they need to do. They need to either park it away, walk away, or start again and give me 22 more films leading up to something.
I don't.
X-Men.
No. I want the
Avengers vs. X-Men.
No, thank you. This is what I want. I want the
Avengers
final
vs. X-Men.
of the 22 new arc to be Avengers vs. X-Men.
And build to it.
And build it 22 arcs. That way, movie 10 or 11 is the Phoenix Saga.
Yep.
Movie 14 is the Dark Phoenix Saga, like you're meant to do. Remember, Phoenix starts good.
How would you do it, Chris?
Then goes bad. Starts good.
Because power corrupts.
Then goes bad. Okay, look.
But
how would you do it?
It's not going to happen.
How would you do it, Chris?
What the?
No, like you've got 22 films.
Okay, so
Kevin Feige comes to you and goes, Chris Warner, you are in control of the Marvel universe for the next 22
I would actually bring new... I wouldn't cheat by getting like, the X-Men in another timeline dimension, blah, blah, blah.
Sorry, your first job is to hire us all as consultants with Marvel money. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But essentially what you would do is say that half of the human race that was wiped out, a part of the humans, when they got brought back, a part of the humans' response mechanism is to like go, how can I not be wiped out again? I'm going to mutate and give you powers so you can fight off whatever happened.
X gene
activates, and then obviously that creates X gene, and then essentially the Xavier school starts. Not in the time frame you want, but essentially it still puts it in the MCU universe.
So would you have a time jump? Would you have a time jump from the end of Avengers, maybe 10 years or something, so that they can sort of be established?
I'd have a small time jump,
so you can have the initial
not a huge time, not
maybe
like
5 years.
Not like a. Or my other thought was that when the snap happened, there were some people that didn't get snapped. Because they were mutants, and because they were something slightly different from a human, they didn't know about it. And then they start the school during that 5-year period where nothing happening, and they're secretly trying to keep the world, holding it together, through that way. That way, you bring the X-Men in it. Obviously, some X-Men have to join the Avengers just so they can become friends and comrades.
How would you do Xavier though? Because is he not a mutant?
Yes.
So then, how would he, have that?
Would it be the Xavier we know, or would it just be a completely new one?
No, you could do.
Because you need that history with Magneto and Xavier.
Yes, you can, because essentially,
it's not 5 years.
No, but the whole point of Xavier and Magneto is someone actually really pointed out interestingly. It's not the friendship over a course of many years like people think it is. What it is both people have the same concept. Freedom for mutants. They both have the same concept, but one's taking the very Martin Luther King version of it, which is basically saying, I have a dream that we could all live together in peace. And one's taking the Malcolm X version of it, which is basically saying we should be free, but if you come try to take my freedom, I'm willing to fight back to protect my freedom.
And what a lot of people don't know, there's not the history you think there is.
Exactly, and that's
it's about 5 or 10 years.
There's not a lot of history between them. And you do that, and you do that sort of storyline where it's going, they both are good, but one has a different opinion. And then I would definitely go with the Geonosian arc where he gets his own country and he basically makes a mutant.
Genosha, you have to have Genosha.
You must do Genosha. You must.
Okay. Big question.
Yeah.
What's the conflict that makes Avengers want to fight?
So essentially, it depends on how you want to play this. If you want to go strictly to the comics, the Phoenix Force is coming back, but that means you have to do Phoenix. You have to do Phoenix well and right, and then essentially, the same as the comics where the Avengers believe that because the Phoenix Force is so powerful and almost destroyed the world before, they must kill whoever gets it, which is a mutant. And then the X-Men are going, well, that's out. This is mutant territory. This is mutant stuff. You stay over there. We handle our own stuff. Yeah. And then essentially, then Magneto comes up and goes, hang on a minute. Yeah, you're right. Screw you, Avengers. And then all the Avengers who are mutants go, you know what? Screw you, Avengers. And then basically there's a huge the good thing about why the conflict works is because there are Avengers. There are X-Men who regularly fight on the Avengers, and then they're friends, and so it's a horrible thing, and but it's also amazing. And then you do the whole concept of that, whether you do the Phoenix Force splitting it into Colossus into the 5, Namor,
Colossus, Cyclops, Jean Grey,
where they all get a piece of the Phoenix Force, and then as they're losing to the Avengers, they start killing each other to get more of the Phoenix Force.
Yeah, that's the worst thing, because the Avengers are they go after Namor first, right? Because Namor's the first mutant.
Yeah.
Right, so they go after Namor, they take him down. He's gone. They're like, sweet, we've only got 4 left. No. The remaining 4 get Namor's powers section of the Phoenix Force.
So the more that die until you get one.
And at the end, it's Scott Summers. It's not actually Jean Grey. Yeah. Scott Summers is the
and this is the thing. And let me also talk about that for a second. You must do Scott Summers right. Scott Summers is the Captain America of the X-Men.
Yes.
He is the north-pointing compass.
Yes.
He is the righteous one. He comes from a horrible past that you would the experiments, the torture, you think he'd be twisted. He's not. He is a little bit, and when he does go with Mr. Sinister, he does get a little bit evil, but essentially he comes back to the pointing north. He does. Back to the right path.
Currently in comics,
he's really ironic. Chris Evans could play a really good.
Oh my god, he would be perfect. I would I'll be like, I don't care. Look, But the bottom I'm trying to make is when he got the Phoenix Force, he did the right thing. He didn't get corrupted. He did get corrupted, but essentially, long bit of backstory in the X-Men. There was actually a disease put out to actually kill all mutants, or like in Logan. Yep. But then he went. Then with using the Phoenix Force, he actually basically sent it out to the world and saying no, mutants. X-Gene reactivate and then reactivate all the X-Genes again. So it was really cool.
It was 100%. I remember reading. Amazing.
Yes, that's what you build up to the 22 films. Because essentially you set up, you got your Dark Phoenix. You set up that whole story. You bring in one of my favorite X-Men. You bring Colossus and then obviously his little sister Magic. You got to bring in Magic.
Yeah,
Magic's going to be in that New Mutants horror movie. I'm very
and apparently that's reinvigorated now. Disney are doing New Mutants.
Anyway, horrible. But that's the sort of concepts that it would work, but you've got to commit to it. It's and I just have a feeling that they're going to try to shelf X-Men for a little bit, and it's not the right call. The Marvel roster is not strong enough right now. I mean, I know Kevin Feige thinks right now I can put any movie out and be successful, but I'm sorry. No.
It's after Endgame.
Your roster is not strong enough for that. Look, Eternals is fine because that's outside of the world. That's all blah blah. But I'm sorry, if you're trying to rebuild yourself an Avengers roster, Ant-Man, Wasp,
Spider-Man,
War Machine, it's a cool roster,
and it's just not. And you've got people like Black Panther, and you've got the leaders like Black Panther, Captain Marvel. I know, but you've got that, and then But I'm calling it now. Phase 6, Phase 5, or Phase 6 will be X-Men.
Phase 5. It has to be. It has to be Phase 5.
I don't think we're going to see any kind of X-Men.
We've got an X-Men movie coming out this year.
Yeah.
I want a gap because
it's going. Between
Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, it felt too soon.
Yeah,
it felt too soon.
I'm calling it now to be mid-phase 5, phase 6. It's going to be at least 5 years.
But essentially, I will actually not be as interested if they go, it's a different universe. Henceforth, it's not. I'll be like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
You haven't spent all this money to keep it separate. So.
Yeah, I know.
If
they do that, if they put them in a multiverse, I'll be like, no.
It's not going to be as interesting. I'm not saying bring them all in and go balls deep straight away.
No. You bring in the 4. You bring in Xavier.
Yeah.
You bring in Cyclops. You bring in Jean. You bring in Beast. You bring in Angel, and you bring in Colossus, and then that's your X-Men team. Yeah. Iceman, depending on how you want to look at it, maybe switch up the Colossus, depending on what.
Maybe just have a few references to the.
And you start with that small X-Men team, and then you bring in Wolverine slowly, and then you bring in Nightcrawler, and then you bring, and maybe depending on how you go, you got to bring in then obviously Emma Frost as somewhat good, somewhat bad, switching sides a lot.
Well, she switches sides more than I change my underwear.
Exactly.
But honestly, the way a lot of the inspiration from the MCU has come from the Ultimate Comics universe. If they go down that route, that's exactly what they did with the X-Men Ultimate run. They had the initial team for the first 2 arcs, so the first 12 issues. We didn't see Wolverine.
Yep.
We saw Wolverine as this mindless.
You don't bring him in.
Magneto was manipulating Wolverine as his killer, but that didn't happen for 12 issues. And when you think about comics, that's a year. That's a year because there's one a month.
Yeah.
So if they go down that route,
you keep the team tight, simple, and you start with that team, and then obviously on the Brotherhood of Mutant side, you go with Toad, Sabretooth, Juggernaut.
Well, you don't even have to bring in Sabretooth. You can wait for.
No, you can wait for Sabretooth. You got to bring in Juggernaut though.
Bring in Juggernaut. Bring in Mystique. Bring in Toad. Bring in Mastermind, who was part of the original Brotherhood as well.
Bring in the original teams.
Yeah.
Keep them small. Keep them tight, and then
But what would you do with Magneto? Because we know that in the MCU he's going to be way too powerful.
Yeah, but
would you play him as a big villain?
That's just it. He's just too powerful.
So I honestly think the first X-Men movie will be the X-Men will be wiped out.
That is your first Avengers villain.
Yeah.
Magneto. And then they have to bring it, and when the Avengers suck and start losing, Charles shows up and is this is a mutant problem. That's why you all suck.
But your Link, you can also use
your metal.
But you can also use Scarlet Witch as your Link. You can forget about the whole creation thing. Maybe you can say that was a rude. Scarlet Witch, you could use that as a link between because she's Magneto's daughter.
Yes.
But please trade in your metal guns, metal Iron Man suit, and put on your plastic Iron Man suit.
No, but I think you're onto something.
They could use that. They could use her as a bridging because maybe they could say that whole thing with Baron Strucker and the manipulating. He just broke out what was already there.
He just activated the mutant gene without knowing what he activated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He thought I've done this with Loki's scepter.
No, he just activated the X gene.
And then she could, and then something could happen, and she could be the bridging.
Where's Magneto been all that time, or does he get activated later?
At the end of the day,
maybe because he's so powerful, is just because the thing is, you got to remember, Magneto is a cosmic level mutant.
Yeah,
maybe he was just bored of it. He's like, I don't want to be
no. I would love to see a scene, and this is how you do it, where you build this like you say pre-snap it on the screen, and you go to this fortress, and it's like this huge mechaton fortress of thousands upon thousands of guards, and then like sitting in the corner, all like tied down with with non-metal restraints, like energy restraints, is Magneto. He's just there, and then when the snap happens, all the guards disappear. So he's just like, walks out.
He doesn't have to have his brotherhood. It could just be him by himself. He's been around. He's known that, and
I would love to.
Magneto's got many different heirs throughout the whole comic.
Yeah.
There's Polaris, there's Quicksilver.
I think it was Flashpoint Paradox or whatever. Is that the one where Superman landed in the city?
Yeah.
And he was just kept inside.
Yeah. And he was a weakling. He was a tiny.
And that's they captured Magneto, and they realized how powerful he was. He was the first activated thing, and so the government's keeping him basically like unable to do anything. But then when the snap happens, they're all gone, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna leave them."
Yeah.
Are you taking notes?
And he goes to Genosha, or he goes to the Savage Land. You can pick. I don't care.
I don't care. One of the two.
And then he's just been there building for the 5 years, building his. Because you are right. Like when what happened with Charles and what happened in the First Class movie with Magneto and Charles Xavier is essentially what happens in the comic. They've only known each other for 5 years before Magneto betrays Xavier and causes his paralysis.
Obvious betrayal.
Yeah. there's not this big history where they've been friends since they were tiny. That's not how it happens. They have the same ideals, so you can get away with 5 years.
Yeah, you can get away with 5 years quite easily.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
And who knows? Maybe that's why they did the 5 year time jump. I'm not saying it's a big jump.
But I would think that makes perfect sense. And people have said because of the tremors under the ocean, maybe they're referring to Namor, and I'm like going, please.
Well, Namor was the first mutant. Namor is the first mutant.
Please say the tremors in the ocean.
He's half Atlantean, half mutant. He was the first mutant.
And he has wings on his feet. It's hilarious.
And if you go all the way back to the Invaders, when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created him, Namor, the original Human Torch, who was a robot, and Captain America, and Bucky, obviously, when he was Bucky.
Yeah.
They were the fourth. They were the Invaders.
Yep.
And conveniently, the Invaders has just started up in their comic run again with the 4th issue at the moment. So I just find it very convenient that all these old things are starting to come up with Namor and all this kind of stuff.
It's like I said,
hoping to get picked up by a movie studio.
I think it's convenient that all these things are coming up.
You would hope that they don't just shelf X-Men for too long. I know in Jamie's head they'll solve it forever, but essentially, look, you don't spend like some $92 billion and go, let's put that property on the shelf.
I'm not looking forward to Dark Phoenix, and I'll
be honest with you, I'm not seeing it that movie.
I'll see it for Fassbender.
I am not seeing that movie. I don't care. Like, I literally like going, you can't do this. You can't show the respect for the source material. I'm not interested in your stupid. What annoys me the most about Dark Phoenix is it's done by the same person who did the last sucky Dark Phoenix. The writer of that horrible movie goes, I'm going to do that saga again.
The same way.
And I get to be the director this time and make sure I have full control of my horrific masterpiece.
Well, my gripe is the same as your gripe. You can't have the Dark Phoenix saga without without having the Phoenix saga.
People keep forgetting
the force of good is Jean Grey is the Phoenix for I think about 5 to 7 years before she goes.
And she was fine. She was good. She was powerful. It was fantastic.
Her over time.
And to be honest, the first time looks like it would have been better than the second.
The first time was shoehorned into a movie.
Yeah, but at the same time, the first time you still had characters that had been together for a while.
Yeah,
it was still that you felt that loss when Wolverine had to kill her.
Oh, I know, and I felt that. I agree.
Look.
But this time I don't care about this.
I know that they're going to cast Wolverine again. That's good. But if they're going to do it, I want a
Danny DeVito.
I've seen
that's not a bad idea.
As long as Sabretooth is played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's really nice.
If you want to do a proper Wolverine where he's not this like 6'4" like male
Cast
model,
an unknown.
Now you know how I feel about the Ninja Turtles.
he's
But
got
cast an unknown.
Yeah.
You don't need a big name behind Wolverine. Wolverine is the big name.
And let me just
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, yes. Or that other person from Twilight, Taylor Lautner. So
he would be fantastic.
He would be fantastic.
No,
He has
that's
a real
what I mean. You don't have
Real
to,
depth of character.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a big name for Wolverine because Wolverine is a big name. Everyone knows Wolverine.
You know who plays real cool mid-30s characters? Tom Cruise.
But me as a Chris fan, we all
definitely run.
there's and I will still say it's probably one of the greatest and smallest most important scenes in current movies was the Wolverine grave in Logan, where it's a cross, and then she picks up the cross and makes it an X.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! I
am undone.
I remember as soon as the credits rolled, the whole cinema was just in silence.
Yeah,
me too.
stunned silence.
Not even
I
that
remember I went,
murmur.
Steph took me to see Gold Class, and it was just like that movie was.
That movie doesn't get the credit it deserves. That movie is
it's a masterpiece.
That movie's. I know, people are like, oh, Deadpool's fun. No, screw. I get Deadpool, but no, this was
R-rated, gut punching to the Deadpool is just comedy, good movie, but this is the one that's like gets you in the heart.
Yeah. They were gonna do a sequel to it. Which
How?
X23 and the kids.
Yeah, okay.
Once they get to Canada. No, but don't worry, it's Axe now because
it's good.
Disney.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I think they did X23.
They did X23 right. I was really happy with how they did that. It was awesome. And just absolutely
I'm glad they didn't make her all PG and just because she's a kid.
Oh no, because in the comics I've read
she was with a head,
and she's worse than I know. She's more violent than Wolverine
because she's a clone.
And scientifically speaking, her claws are more deadly because there's only 2 blades of pressure versus 3 blades of pressure. Let's not talk about science. Okay, science. 3 blades are actually worse than.
You know what? That's a movie.
Yeah.
That's
the same theory and same view on tridents as well.
I do. I do have a very similar view on tridents.
They had one big thick one.
Actually, one blade. If they had one blade, that's actually more powerful.
She had them on her feet as well.
Let's talk about Dakin then, Wolverine's son.
Yeah.
Who has the 2 claws that come up here and the one that comes out.
Now you have to describe that because our listeners can't see.
Sorry, I should. Yeah, you can't see.
Hang on.
So Dakin is Wolverine's son. So he has 2 claws that come out of his knuckles, as aka Wolverine, and one that comes out of sort of his palm area of his hand. So it's kind of it is essentially a proper claw.
Yeah,
or Assassin's Creed.
And he's got no empathy, and he's an assassin, and he's an amazing.
I need to see this immediately.
We need Dakin. Bring us Dakin.
So
I know who can play him too.
So what we've learned from this Avengers podcast is we need X-Men.
Basically, yeah. What we've learned from every time we've talked about Avengers on a podcast.
We want X-Men.
X-Men follows.
X-Men follows. We just need X-Men.
I'm sure
As a wise philosopher once said, X gonna give it to you. Bring it in, seriously.
Here on the Nerd Migos, it all comes down to 3 things: Star Wars, Avengers, and X-Men.
Definitely.
X-Men.
Yes.
Just give us what we want. Shelve the Dark Phoenix. Look, it's not too late. It's not too late to cancel this whole Dark Phoenix saga. I know it comes out in a few weeks, but just please.
Okay.
Made it.
And what annoys me about the Dark Phoenix thing is you just spent like $92 billion. Dark Phoenix probably cost about maybe $100 million to make. What's an extra $100 million if you're not don't release it? Just or put it on Netflix. Just be like.
What annoys me is you're going to one of the biggest X-Men sagas ever, and in these current slate of movies, we haven't heard anything about the Phoenix before.
The thing is, Netflix isn't just they actually do decent
but essentially it's like it's like a essentially for them.
I heard about Punisher, but anyway,
it's like them again. It's like it'll be like them just basically shelving, going, okay, you can go on a streaming service. Blah, who cares?
yeah.
But obviously, look, talking on Michael's butthurt. Yes, the Punisher wasn't as good as it should have been.
Started brilliantly.
No, but can I first explain my butthurt?
Yes, please, go ahead.
So my butthurt is thus. So basically, I finished. And spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the second season of Punisher. I was at first I was like, oh cool, I finished the season, yep, okay, and then I thought about it, I processed it, and I was like, no, that was utterly unacceptable. Jigsaw was not Jigsaw. He was just a whiny, I got scars on my face and I'm no longer beautiful. And then he died like a dog, lying on the floor of some...
People, we found it.
Like...
We found Michael's trigger.
Like seriously,
he had some moments though. There was moments in that series where you're like, but it's him.
Died.
But
the thing is, he was Jigsaw, and he died like a coward.
Yeah,
sitting on the floor of a therapist's war veterans PTSD.
Really
no,
that is
but
not
again,
the mafioso.
My biggest complaint with that whole thing was that preacher guy took a shotgun to the leg, and then went, I'm going to put some bandages on it. Now let me go on to an epic gunfight and flip around like a ninja.
I think
it's like, okay.
Did he flip around like a ninja?
Well, no, he was jumping around like going, and then he was doing hand fire going, you just took a shotgun at point blank to your leg. You are dead. I'm sorry, you are not going,
I think that was
what if he doesn't feel it?
It doesn't matter. Blood loss, you can still die from blood loss.
I think that was. It's like showing the power, because he was one of my favorite characters.
He was definitely my favorite
in the whole. Aside from Frank Castle himself,
but again,
he was a zealot.
If you're going to create rules in your universe, like where guns still work like guns, people still get shot. Stick to your rules.
Well, how many times has Frank Castle been shot?
Look, I don't care if you want to go crazy. If your world is like people can shoot lasers from your hands, cool. But stick to your rules of your universe. That's all I'm saying is stick to your rules of your universe. Don't go out.
I think we can all agree that we're very disappointed with Jigsaw and
there was too much.
I'm glad that all those shows are cancelled. To be honest,
we've still got one season of Jessica Jones.
I gave up on episode 2 of Jessica Jones.
That show's a bit too intense for me.
I've only watched. I was bored of it.
I've only watched all of Daredevil, and I watched 2 seasons of Punisher.
Well, look, to be honest with you, season 1 of Jessica Jones was really good because of David Tennant.
David Tennant was
man.
Oh yeah,
he was amazing.
Full disclosure, I didn't even finish the last season of Daredevil. I got really bored.
I'm happy with the 3 seasons of Daredevil.
I got to episode 6, and I was like, meh.
I was really. Which episode? Sorry. Which episode in the latest Daredevil series was that the greatest fight scene we've ever seen? Wasn't it in the prison?
The one shot where he's walking. Out of the prison. Has a conversation, keeps fighting all his way out. It's like 5 minutes.
Did you see
one
that,
single
Chris?
shot.
How would you be bored of that? That was the greatest Marvel TV moment I've ever seen in my life.
Look, I was just watching it going, meh.
Well, look, I think the Daredevil.
The last couple of episodes of Punisher.
Daredevil will be my favourite out of all of them. I was really, as much as people hate Iron Fist, what I hated about it is that the next season of Iron Fist was going to be based on the best run of Iron Fist comics in the whole world, and now I'm never going to get to see it. It's my favourite, the Immortal Iron Fist run by Matt Fraction, which lasted for I think about 3 years, which was absolutely amazing. It was
they might do a stage play.
Yeah.
No, I actually, what's interesting to me is actually one of the movies that we do know coming up from the movie scope, which is I'm wondering where he's going to fit into it, which is basically the Chinese martial artists.
Shang-Chi,
yeah.
Fist of the Dragon.
So what is interesting about that is they've announced that they're really happy with that movie, because obviously, look, is it a little bit to get the Chinese audience? Yes, of course.
Because China are the money.
But is it so they can have their own version of Bruce Lee running around the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yes.
If you Google Shang-Chi Marvel Comics, it is Bruce Lee. They modeled the character after Bruce Lee.
Are they going to do his multi-minute? I really hope that. the whole thing, it really depends on where they go with it. The whole thing is obviously like he's actually a normal human, and then something happens, and he has the ability then to create multiple versions of himself.
Yes.
Imagine like fighting 6 Bruce Lees at once. It's like okay.
Screw that noise of going back to bed.
Shang-Chi, what worries me about that movie is Shang-Chi is very much part of the universe. Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage.
But
See, I see one overriding issue though. I see one overriding issue in doing anything else Marvel. Where were they during Endgame? That's
but that's the thing.
Shang-Chi's street level.
He's just a martial
He's
artist.
street level, to be honest with you, Mike.
I see they're going,
He's not Avengers level.
No, but I want them to make him Avengers level. I think that'd be interesting to put him up in the like literally. Imagine an Avengers team with like Shang-Chi on it. Awesome, come on, let's do it.
Just a dude in pants.
Like, to be honest with you, that's the thing about Avengers.
If Black Widow and Hawkeye can be an Avenger, then goddamn.
Stanley and Jack Kirby created the Avengers so everyone can be an Avenger. There's no criteria on. Obviously, you need to. The only thing is you have to have a good heart. And you have to.
And again, if you can make multiple versions of yourself, I think it'd be pretty friggin' useful.
That's pretty handy, yeah.
I think it'd be pretty friggin' useful.
That's what the Avengers is. That's why I have no issue with
what I lack in super toughness, I make up in quantity.
Look at this, our latest Avenger, Goku-san.
But no, Shang-Chi is a good decision. My only thing is I have the same fear as what I had with Black Panther initially. I don't know if he can hold his own movie. Because he's a lower level character.
If we learn anything from Crazy Rich Asians,
I love that movie.
Is that yes, it'll hold it. So I can say this. I am Korean. Be very clear on that movie. I am Korean. So I think we've learned that. Yes, he will hold his own movie. Okay, I mean,
not because he's Asian. I'm just saying because he's a low-level character.
That too, but I mean, let's be honest. Like Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Bruce Lee. They're all like This is just the Marvel Cinematic Universe tapping into a wonderful stream of Asian cinema that I'm very much looking forward to.
Oh, I agree. I don't think I've seen a bad Jet Li movie in my entire life.
Hero. Anyway,
I don't think I've seen that one though.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
But no, I'm not saying.
It was his attempt at an Oscar. Anyway,
I'm not saying because he is a Chinese hero. I'm just saying because he is a low level. He's like the Daredevil with those kind of things.
It's got the MCU label on it.
Yeah,
it will make money.
Until they screw up, it will make money.
Yeah. No, definitely I agree.
And then, like I said, I can't wait for him to then face off against like I don't know, Doctor Doom or something in the Avengers movie.
When I think Shang-Chi, he had.
Kick you to death.
When I think Shang-Chi, I think more of a team-up movie. So I think because a lot of his appearances initially were part of the Marvel team-up line. So he'd work with Spider-Man, he'd work with Daredevil.
That I would see. Spider-Man
could be an opportunity that Marvel are missing out.
I would guarantee they're going to up his powers. I don't think they're just going to make him just a dude.
That'd be pretty funny though.
Actually, no, but it would be super interesting. It'd be a very interesting movie where, like, for a Marvel Cinematic movie to have the hero get beat up so much, to make it like a very Jackie Chan kind of like hero where he's like gets beat up a lot but still wins. That's cool, but I'm not sure if it's a bold step.
I don't know if it's MCU's.
They might give him the whole, ancient order or something like that, like what they did with Iron Fist with Kunlun.
What they could do is do his powers properly, or just give him Iron Fist powers but do it well. Complete. I mean, the whole thing is Iron Fist is meant to have complete control over his body. People don't realize how actually insanely powerful that is. To be able to control your entire, like people realize, that's a dumb power. No, that's the most amazing power you could possibly imagine. Like, I've been stabbed. Cool. The blood, I've removed all the blood from that area of my body. Henceforth, that means absolutely nothing. I stabbed you in the chest. I moved my organ to the left.
And it was also
maybe John Pilgrim had that.
Well, it was also amazing when I used to read the Shang-Chi comic, because it was one of those comics where he would do an attack and it would have a crazy standing monkey position, and it would actually say that in the comic, and you could learn all the moves and the way that he. But
again, or you could just say he's we've got magic in the cinematic universe. We've got Superman. He's got the power of chi, so he can channel his chi. Come on, it's a very simple one, but imagine that, just channel his chi and just punch through a wall. Come on, let's do this.
Well, look through the I'm all for having him in there. I'm
super excited about it, like more than I should be. But I'm just like, I love a good kung fu movie.
Oh,
yeah, me
definitely.
too.
A kung fu movie with like universe-shattering stakes. Come on, let's do it.
I just hope they don't go down the comic route and make.
I think that's the whole podcast right there, Chris.
No. I want the full bob cut.
He has a monkey.
Fun fact.
He has.
You don't want the Liu Kang looking longer hair.
No. Bob cut, Jet Li style.
Fun fact.
Also Bruce Lee style. Sorry.
Fun fact. Chris used to have one.
Yeah.
A nice bobcat. Bowl cut.
But it's insane to be excited about something so minimal. But like going, come on, we all love a good kung fu film.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I grew up on Bruce Lee films.
Exactly. So this is just that, but with the MCU logo.
Cast as Shang-Chi too.
Actually, I was just thinking the guy from Power Rangers would be a good cast.
Yeah, the
Black Ranger.
one?
Yeah, Black Ranger.
Yeah,
that'd basically be like spot on perfect. I'd be like, yeah, that dude. Go him.
100%. He's young enough too.
Young enough too.
Could sign him for multi movies. So
also like,
what about Rob Pattinson? He could do.
Rob Pattinson.
shove your Robert Pattinson. Seriously.
I'm not a millennial, but if they don't actually cast a Chinese actor, I'll actually be really like, I'd feel very like annoyed, but I would imagine that's what they're going with. They'll find a decent.
Oh, definitely, no, 100%.
They'll find and again, I like. Not to be that guy. The person they need to cast also has to have some level of martial arts ability.
100%.
I don't 100%. Like. So martial arts fighting is not something you can John Wick, where you can be like going, they can learn a few combat moves.
No, it needs to be proper martial
arts. You need to have someone who actually knows the forms, and so you can clearly tell when with Jackie Chan and Jet Li, in the movies, that they know what the hell they're doing, and so the stunt doubles don't look more impressive than that.
No, exactly.
Jackie Chan doesn't have a stunt double, but
you don't want.
Also, those two guys have been studying their entire life, and also let me point out that Jet Li is an actual Shaolin monk.
Oh yeah,
who's been training since he was 3.
You don't want to see in Shang-Chi.
I know, replicate that.
You don't want to see in Shang-Chi where he's about to get into a fight.
That's right. We need to go cast this movie. Let's go to a Chinese monastery in the middle of nowhere, and there's this one dude that's our Shang-Chi.
But you don't want to see it in Shang-Chi where he just all of a sudden puts a hoodie on and starts to do it. How many times have we seen that?
Too many times, and I get too mad. I get too mad of it, and also I want to punch people when they say you can learn martial arts by watching YouTube. I want to punch you so hard because
punch you in your face.
And why do people spend years and years studying this craft under master sensei?
But again,
you can learn the basics, and even then barely.
No, and you can learn the basics, but essentially, like even if people who are actually they'll actually show footage of like people actually going to a Shaolin temple to learn, like people who actually know martial arts so well.
Yeah.
And even though they're doing their martial arts, the teacher was coming up and moving their foot like an inch to the left, going, no, that's wrong. You're gonna be here like this, exactly like this. And they're like, I thought I was doing it perfectly, but like it's like no, you got to be like dead on perfect. And so again,
no, bring it on. It's Marvel. We're gonna see it. Marvel could put a loaf of bread and say, this is the new leader of the Avengers. It's a loaf of bread. We will still go and see it because it will be the best loaf of bread in this world, and we will cry when that loaf of bread gets mold on it.
Is Kevin Feige serious? That's literally a loaf of bread.
No, what they're gonna do?
That loaf of bread will come to Comic-Con, and people will line up.
And then right at the end of the movie, the loaf of bread transforms into a being of ultimate power. So
that's too much. It goes
turns into toast. Jumps into a toaster, sacrifices itself.
Yeah,
into a toaster for the soul gem.
Yeah.
What they're gonna do is they're gonna do something crazy. They're gonna do Pride and Prejudice. MCU edition.
If they did it with zombies.
Yes. Wasn't there a movie, Pride and Prejudice?
And zombies.
It's so good.
Yeah, I actually really like that movie.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, it's actually really good.
I've seen it before.
I haven't watched it because I'm a little nervous.
No, it's really good. No,
it is.
So-and-so's dating so-and-so.
Yeah, but with zombies. But in the middle of a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
With British soldiers with swords.
Intrigued. Okay.
How long do we have left, Timekeeper?
Oh, we've gone over, but I don't care.
Because we were going to talk fighting games, but I don't think...
No, that's the next podcast.
No, well, clearly the next podcast is martial arts films and fighting games.
and Star Wars, Batman, and Avengers, and X-Men.
Yeah.
No.
We have to at least mention one of them, or else it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Yo.
And until the next episode,
Excelsior.
Peace.
Robert Pattinson,
Gay.
for president.
Okay.